Legislations over the years have gone to the court to pass for drug testing for welfare recipients. Drug use has become very overwhelming, with an epidemic of heroin overdoses and many different drugs being seized all over the United States and actually all over the world. So I could see why this would be a concern, that taxpayers are paying for people to have affordable houses, food stamps, daycare, and etc. That I want to know and make sure that my money is being spent well, and that is going to the people that really need it, and not that is going to the ones that are on drugs, and that we are housing them. I do believe, however, that we do need to get them help, but welfare is not where we need to spend that money. Over the years, you can see an increase of states trying to pass this, starting in 2011 all the way to 2016, and Trump has actually pushed the law to pass that we would have to test welfare recipients. Substance abuse issues have long been part of the public assistance policy discussions. States have proposed drug testing for applicants and recipients to the public welfare system since 1996. The federal rule permits drug testing as part of the temporary assistance for needed families grant, which is also known as welfare. In recent years, nearly all states have posed some form of drug testing or screening for applicants. In 1996, welfare laws bar states from providing NF assistance to people convicted of felonies for possession, use, or distribution of illegal drugs. However, it allows states to opt out of the ban or modify the period in which the ban applies. At least 4 states modified the ban to require those convicted of drug charges to comply with drug testing requirements as a condition to receiving benefits, including Maine, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. In 2009, over 20 states proposed legislation that would require drug testing as a condition of eligibility of public assistance. In 2010, at least 20 states have similar proposals. None of these proposals become laws because most of the legislation has forced random or suspicious drug testing, which is at odds. In 2003, Michigan Court of Appeal case ruled that subjects every welfare recipient in Michigan to drug tests without any reason to believe they are using drugs. This will obviously be something that we face in 2017. Trump did pass that recipients of welfare will have to use any form of drug testing. A lot of taxpayers are thankful for this because our money does go to these people that are needing drug or help. But we don't want to provide them a home and food stamps and other necessity items when really they just need is care. We don't want them to abuse the system so people that really need help can't afford it or can't get on due to the fact that there's too many people and there's a long list, but they're using the system for the wrong reasons. And the fact that there is a law that if you are convicted of a felony, you are not allowed to be on the system. But unfortunately, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are on the system even though they've been convicted. Unfortunately, I know some people that are, personally, just by association. So yes, people do slip through the cracks, and the states that started doing drug testing found that the results were pretty high of welfare recipients compared to drug uses. It is higher than expected, but I think that compared to the overall drug use comparison, it's pretty low. But when states decided to spend more and more money to make sure that they wanted to continue to test, they found that it actually declined over time, and that lower and lower people used drugs if they were on the system just because they knew they were getting tested. and some drugs don't get out of the system right away, and you don't know when or where that may be. Proposals for testing for drugs during the welfare system actually gained momentum in the season of 2011. 3 states passed legislation in 2011. 4 states enacted laws in 2012. 2 states passed legislation in 2013, and 3 states passed legislation in 2014, bringing the total of states to 12 that would enforce testing drugs for welfare recipients. In 2012, Utah passed legislation that would require a questionnaire of drug screening tests for its recipients, and Georgia passed legislation ruling drug testing bill to require the department to develop a plan for substance abuse testing for applicants. And Oklahoma passed a measure requiring all recipients to get a screening for illegal drug use. As of 2016, at least 17 states have proposals to address substance abuse and welfare testing. As you can see, that a lot of states are jumping on board because they're tired of this epidemic and wanting to decrease the amount of drug users or drug abusers on the welfare system. Since the welfare system is a government thing, it is a taxpayers like you and I would be paying, and this would be an easy way to make sure that our money is going in the proper place. But as I've done studies on this subject, I have noticed, like I said before, a lot of states that have pushed this, there is a decrease. So that is a good sign. That is good for Americans, but I think it would be great and a lot better if more states, as I stated, like only 12 or 13 states, I think up to 15 as of 2016, are really pushing this. I wish that all the states would, so then everybody would be on board and everybody would feel equal instead of it, feeling like they're pointed out in that state, depending on whatever the situation may be. So overall, I think the welfare and drugs correlate together. However, I do not see that there is a big increase in drugs in the welfare system. But it would be nice if I knew exactly who was getting my tax money. And I think a lot of other citizens would like that too. So overall, there's not a big decrease in drug use in the welfare system. But I think if everybody would get on board and regulate this kind of testing, that there would be zero drug use on the welfare system.